All right, we're rolling. This is Freedom Phil. Like and subscribe. Let's get into it. And I just got to ask this question. How are you screwing this up? Like, really, if you're in America and you're allegedly poor, how are you screwing this up? It's so fucking easy to get by that I'm always amazed when I see these suburban scumbags. And I just assume that they're robot, socialist robot program. Oh my God, they're starving people in America. It's like, where? Where are you starving in America that isn't self-inflicted? What do you mean self-inflicted? Like, you're broke ass poor, and there's soup kitchens and food pantries, and somehow this is a bridge too far for people. You're broke ass poor, and you can't just hold a sign for an hour or so. They're like, well, what do you mean? I've bum changed. I've went to all these, establishments over the years, and there's times I've made $100 in under an hour bumming change. It doesn't happen all the time, mind you, but sometimes you have a dead hour, and it's just like you don't make much of anything. But there are a lot of times if you're standing outside of a Walmart and you're hustling and you're shaking this, you shake the sign, a little hustle and this that. Um, yeah, I'll have a full tank of gas and some cash. And let's be honest, how much do you really need to survive in the modern America? I mean, how much is beans and rice really costing? But let's get rid of the beans. Let's go with the rice and the oatmeal. Why oatmeal? Because instant oats are easy to cook. You can get them at the Dollar Tree, not really that expensive. Um, how much do you really need in food? I mean, you're basically, if you're a bum, you are going to have some needs for caloric intake. But how much do you really need just, to keep going? I don't know, to maybe make it to that unemployment office to find a job. I mean, it's this weird suburbanite warped logic that I can tell that the majority of people that post the memes or the shorts or the whatever, you're either a robot or you've never actually realistically been poor. Like, you've never been out there actually having to survive. It's just the lesson that you were taught is, oh, there's starving people. And that's self-inflicted. I mean, if you're in some third world country, yeah, they're starving. Okay? But in America, like really in America, have you seen the poor? Have you been to a food bank? Have you seen the EBT class of America, the little rascal crowd? They're literally like they have diseases that kings had. Like where they have walking problems or what is it, Crohn's or what's that fucking disease? The one where, too much sugar or meat causes like ankle pain and all that sorts of shit or toe pain. That is a problem among the American poor. Do you understand how fucked up that is? Like when you think of poverty and you think of someone starving on the streets, that doesn't apply anymore unless it's someone doing it self-inflicted. If you're mentally ill, now let's address the real issue. If someone's mentally ill on the streets and they're choosing not to eat or go to a soup kitchen or hold a sign, like if you're holding that sign is the first thing you do to get enough money, to get enough food, to get to the next step of going to a government agency that helps you get some benefits like EBT and a free cell phone. And from the free cell phone, which you charge probably, I don't know, at a grocery store, gas station, a library, maybe get a free bus pass via the system. Because, yeah, I've seen poor people do that too. And then, I don't know, maybe there's a church or something else where you can get some clothes, somewhere you can get a shower, and you could get a fucking job. Now, I'm not telling you got to go get a job. I'm telling you, it is that easy to get out of fucking poverty. Yes, it's hard sometimes. And here's the thing. There's an irony. If you can find a place to actually have your tent or your vehicle parked and nobody's hassling you and you're actually working, if you're even working a crapper minimum wage job, because you're not paying rent, utilities, and all that, it doesn't take that long until you have the money to get back on your feet. from tent to place to live, or tent to van, and then hell, I've often recommended trucking. You know, if you have a clean driving record, you know, from tent to some sort of government sponsored or corporate sponsored, because, you know, like trucking companies, they have their own schools, and if you work for them for a year or so, they waive what their fees. But the point of it is, this illusion in America, there's starving people on the streets. No, there's mentally ill people on the streets that are too fucking zonked out to go eat, to go find food, to shake their ass for the money. Oh, shake their, you're on the streets. Holding a sign and, be like, I'm a bum trying to get food and gas. Like if you have a vehicle, food and gas. It's the fact that you see these. I know people think when they put out these short, you know what? I got to give them credit because most people are so fucking stupid that they'll believe this crap. Yes, there's starving people all over America. Really? Like I said earlier, have you seen the EBT? The EBT. But this is what. Okay, it's the persistent. You know what? I should just participate in the lie. I should go, as Aaron Clarey says, full Operation Evil. I should just fake being a socialist. Because you people are so fucking stupid and you want to hear that crap. Oh yeah, it's the government. Oh, it's the blah, blah, blah. Shut up. Like literally. To me, it's mind-blowing that the same bullshit excuses still persist and why it's just like religion. You know, you were told as a little kid that the magic carpenter in the sky, you know, the son of the magic tribe, and then you believe in this nonsense because you've been fed it since you were a child. Well, do you think that a lot of the myths about American poverty aren't the same? Like, just, you see someone living on the streets, sure, they're living in the streets. They're living in a tent or a vehicle. Okay. But there come a point at which you can actually think logically that maybe a lot of what they're doing is their own choice. You know? And like I said earlier with the trucking example, fuck. You could be a homeless person, and if you can manage to get to a company and get that CDL, you know, where they're paying for your training, and then you just have to work for them for a year, or you go to the unemployment office and they do that same thing, like some sort of job corps where you could become a plumber or electrician, you know, where you're living on site or whatever. I don't fucking care how you do it. But if you could pull your head out of your fucking ass in America, you can actually accomplish incredible things. But it's that constant reinforcing religious style message of, it's not your fault. Sometimes things just happen. Yeah, very okay. I will grant you, once in a blue moon, there is a situation that happens to some people where legitimately a lightning bolt hit them, like fucking that they got screwed that bad. But why don't you look at the statistics and then look at the fact that most of the people that claim to be poor, well, what are they doing? Like, and one of my favorite examples is go to a food bank sometime and look at the vehicles people are driving. You know, the whole concept of ghetto rich. You know, Section 8 rich. I don't care whether it's white, black, what the fuck ever. Have a bunch of awfully nice vehicles. Like that pickup truck isn't exactly free. How many tens of thousands of dollars do you have in pickup truck? Or SUV? You know, you see people that are literally just milking the system. And then, this is all supported by the bleeding hearts out there that are like, oh, the starving in America. I mean, fuck you. Go take a look at a food bank line sometime. Go take a look at the size of a lot of those people. Show me the bleached Ethiopians. White, black, what the fuck ever. Go show me the people who look like they just escaped Auschwitz and the starving people on the street. You're going to see a lot of fat fuckers at a food bank. This persistent narrative that, it's so hard in America. I'll tell you the hard part in America at this point. The inflation going up, the interest rates going up for buying a home, the increased cost because everybody wants shit for free. So instead of paying taxes for the stuff they want via the government, they just print money, and then that makes the dollar worth a little less. Inflation, you know? Like, is your house really worth that much more? Or is your dollar worth that much less? I don't know. You figure it out. It's a somewhere meeting in between. But that means the average person that used to pay 300 to 500 for a little bungalow for rent is now paying 15 to 2,000 for the same fucking bungalow, and the wages to some degree haven't kept up. That is real. That part is absolutely real and actually explains a lot of the problems where you see people living in RVs or in tents, like the Junkietown Jerry's, the old smoker stonies that used to do the crap jobs back in the day, dishwashing, the jobs Americans used to do. Those people are now getting, like, say, a check from the government and then living in a vehicle or a tent or a share room or something. Yeah, some of those people, and honestly, once you started giving a lot of those people that $1,000 a month, that's completely destroyed any motivation for them to go to work. In fact, I'd argue a lot of the drug crisis that you see in the inner cities is because you subsidize it. Because $1,000 will not rent you an apartment in the city, but if you live in a tent, it will buy you a lot of drugs. A lot of drugs. Now, between the food banks, the soup kitchens, the subsidized, oh, you're nuts, here's some money, or you're just stupid and poor, here's some EBT. Like, do you know that you get around $250 to $300 as a single person on EBT? Are you telling me you can't feed yourself with damn near $300? Like, what the fuck are you eating? Well, I want, what are you just going every day and you're just grabbing the, Angus chuck roast, like where it's like, the special brand where it's almost $20 now, what used to be like 13 to 15. And then you have the discount brand, and that used to be like $11 to $12, and now it's like 15. What are you buying? Are you buying that big sub sandwich? Do you not know how to fucking cook? Like, you're getting damn near $300 in EBT. And on top of that, you have food banks that give you more. Food banks in America will give you more than enough food each month to get by just fine. Well, we live in an area where the services aren't so good. Then get the fuck out of there. I mean, what was that guy? Was it Sam Kinison? It was like, we have deserts in America, but we don't live there. We go where the food is. The screaming thing. You live in a desert and there's no food. That guy was such a classic, but it's true. If you live in a place where there's no food and you have the nerve to be like, I'm starving. And I don't buy it, by the way. Like I said earlier, I've been on the side of the road next to a gas station before, holding a sign, and within an hour, I had enough gas to get to somewhere better. If you have a thumb, oh, look out, you can hitchhike to a fucking better place. If you can shake your ass and hold a sign, you can get enough money for a goddamn Greyhound ticket to somewhere better. And if you could do all of those things, then you can most definitely manage to go to an unemployment office and a social services office first to get, I'm broke, I need food assistance, establish what you got to do, and then you get some EBT, you get some, a cell phone, you get the basics, like all the thing I explained earlier. And it doesn't take that long until, if you have 2 fucking brain cells to rub together, that you could be going to some sort of Job Corps or learning to drive truck. And by the way, truck driving doesn't pay no. You're homeless. You're fucking homeless. Talking about how these people are starving. I think a truck that's an apartment on wheels and a job with no rent, no utilities, no bills, it would be a hell of a lot better than you living on the streets. But you know what it is? A lot of people once you give them that government check and they get to do all the drugs they want to do, that's who they are. Like, you're just, and really, that's the sad truth of a lot of people. There's a lot of people that are completely fucking useless. That their existence is literally just, it's like animals fucking. There's no great grand, in fact, there's something noble about animals in the sense that there's a mate tournament species type of thing going on. A lot of the dead end genetics wouldn't survive. They'd be killed off by the wolves and bears and cougars because they're a bunch of grass eaters. That's what they are. They're a bunch of grass eaters that are dead ends. And they would die. Nature cleans the fucking gene pool. Humanity makes excuses for it. And like I just said, you suburban scumbags out there living in your privileged little, nice part of society thinking we're helping the poors. You want to help the poors, help them get a job. And I get it. Some people are physically disabled or mentally disabled. So, you give the legitimate people a check. But this shit where you try to tell me starving people in America, where? Like, this child on a Native American resident, that's called child abuse. That's because the parents are mentally ill. Just like the person on the streets that's too drugged out or lazy to go to a soup kitchen to get EBT, or they have EBT and apparently they're just too zonked out to go buy a bagel. Like 50 cents. Or is it $1 now? It used to be $2 for $1 for a bagel. Let's say $1 for a cheese bagel with the jalapenos on it. Starvation averted. Literally hold a sign, shake your ass. Starvation averted. It's just like religion. It really is. It's just like fucking religion. These narratives that persist on decade after decade, generation after generation, and they'll keep on going on until reality finally takes its big fucking dick out and slaps everybody in the face with reality. Reality's giant cock being like, bam! Oh wait, that wasn't true. Poverty in America is a self-inflicted situation. With the exception of very, very few rare people. But almost everybody I've ran into over the course of my life that tries to be like, we're the poor. You can always just calculate. You can go through their life and their choices and whatnot to where they're at today. And you're like, oh yeah, this is totally your fucking fault. But remember, the suburban scumbags feel good about themselves for telling themselves, we care. We care so much. Like maybe they donate a little money or they check a box or pretend they care on social media. At the end of the day, they go back to their nice suburban lives, gated communities, and they vote liberal. They vote to give you a crazy check, full well knowing it'll never change a thing. And mostly they vote to give you a check because, well, frankly, it's not their money out of their pocket. It's not their couch that you're sleeping on. It really is toxic empathy. Anyhow, take it easy.